Yeah, I just actually wanted to go through like a situation that happened to me last night because I think sometimes it kind of helps to talk through like how it's happened in your own life. And I don't normally do that, but I'm trying to be a bit more authentic and kind of open and share real things. So yeah, like I have been like fully reconnected to like one of my really strong connections. I don't want to label things at the moment because I've had like a few experiences of connections at the time I've thought. But let's just say I have manifested my specific person, so in the exact way that I wanted to manifest them. Um, and I I'm still getting like triggers come up, and I think actually this is a really good sign because it's showing me that I'm still growing. It's showing me that I'm still evolving through this connection. It's just that I seem to be able to do it without so separating. Um, so last night, for example, I so my SP has been going through. So ever since we met, it's been like a really turbulent. There's been a lot of turbulence, which to begin with was in our connection, and now is just like outside the connection. Um, and it was generally to do with kind of everything falling away that was no longer really serving and just like rebuilding from new foundations and in different ways because in his it was more in like life, living situation, work situation, like money, those types of things. And for me it was like really really coming back to my foundation of self-love and like not needing things like like not seeking outside of myself. Like a big wound of mine is priority and like needing to feel like I'm a priority. And I've been doing a lot of manifesting, a lot of like trying to shift my thought patterns, my ways of thinking. But I still think beyond all of that is like clearing through your subconscious patterning. I'm actually working at the moment on like a special journal. I can't wait to share it, but it's such early days at the moment, which helps kind of daily look at your triggers and kind of go into them whilst simultaneously trying to manifest the things that you want to bring into your life, because I feel like they both work in conjunction. I did bring back everything I wanted through manifesting, but then I'm still having to mirror triggers as they come up. So yeah, as I said, I have this huge one about being a priority, and obviously for that very reason it's great for me to attract somebody that's going through like a really really difficult time in life generally, because of course those people cannot like you know make your priority when their life is so incredibly stressful and there's so much to deal with that it's hard for them to fully prioritize you. So it's a great setup for me. And I've often gotten periods where I've been like so prioritized, um, as I have here, and then it'll be taken away at intervals, and that's where I normally react, spin out, and like to the point where it ends up, I cut and run, or the whole, or the whole connection just. But I'm managing to, like I think they said in the Bible, like they had to keep knocking each other not to fall asleep. And it really is like that. And falling asleep is really just forgetting that you are God and you are the creator of your reality. And it's really, really hard when it's like emotions are involved, it's actually much harder, I think, with like people that you have really strong connections with than material things, because there's just so much emotion behind it that, you know, to just stand back and be like, to not tell that 3D story and to be like, you know, this is a wound, like, you know, and you've just got to go in there and you've got to heal it and you've got to integrate it, can be really, really difficult. Like, that's why I think it's really, really good to have a couple of friends that you can talk to, because I have one friend who's like really on the same wavelength, and you know, I started telling her my story and she's like, I think you're forgetting that you create a reality, and I was like, yeah, thanks, because I am. And I was even aware that I was. It's just very, you know, there's just certain times when it is, and yeah, due to all this like stress, which I totally understood, I was getting like changes of plans, changes of times, and it triggers old wounds of when it used to have flaky people. And this person actually hasn't come across as flaky. We had other, but I was getting so emotionally triggered. And like, to some people, it probably wouldn't even be a big deal. But I was like, oh, I just feel like I'm, you know, everybody else is like being dealt with and all these other things. And like, I'm the least part, like my time's being considered the least. And, you know, I spent all this time getting ready. And I think as a girl, people would understand that, you know, I'd like put my makeup on, I'd like dressed up nice, I'd done my hair. So it wasn't like I could go and do like a workout or go and do something else. I didn't want to go and, you know, obviously make other plans. So I was very much just sitting on my own, waiting while things just got like shifted around constantly, just like emotionally really reacting. But I really just did my mirror work. You know, like I said, it helps to talk to a friend who's on the same path as you and can be like, stop with the story, because I think a lot of the time it makes it worse when we have friends and we say, oh, I can't believe it, he's done XYZ, and then the friend goes, oh, what an idiot, like, and then before you know it, it's like the whole, you know, you're engaging in your story, this person's engaging with you in the story, making it even more real, and the whole thing just, you know, escalates. So I would say when you're going through a trigger, like, first and foremost, try and have like, you know, one or two friends that, you know, going to be honest with you and are just going to keep bringing you back to that belief, even when you completely lose yourself. Because, you know, even though I've seen such amazing effects, I still have moments where I lose myself and I just go back into this, you know, old story of like identifying to the 3D and reacting to it. But luckily, like, I'm awake enough that I don't go too deep into it. You know, it's like that bit in the back of my mind that's like, come on, jump out of this, you know? So I, you know, did my integrating work. I acknowledged that it was about priority. It was about my time being valued, and I really sat with that. And it was just like, you know, I sat with it and I'd clear it, and then I'd get a message, I'm coming to you now. And then like it would come up again, and then, you know, more problems would happen. And I literally could actually see the results so quickly, but it really confirms, you know, like how it does work. And every time I kind of got myself into that energy of just not telling myself a story, not writing a story, not even making it about that person, but like making it about me. And I just like, you know, I'd close my eyes and I'd feel into it, and I'd be like, you know, what do you need to feel like a priority? Like, you know, and I'd give myself an invisible hug and send myself lots of love, and it would, you know, the trigger would kind of die down, and then I'd get, you know, the communication of, yeah, I'm on my way now, I'm on my way. You know, all of this on an external outside story to some people might just seem stupid, but it's like, that's the thing, these triggers, when they're related to something you experienced in your childhood and growing up, like, they're so subconscious and they're so deep that they just kind of, you know, they run wild with you. And it's those times that it's the hardest to stay awake, but it's the most fulfilling. And then it ended up, we had, you know, a really nice night, and I actually felt like so much more love. And, you know, I got like, it's like every time you go through a layer of this, you can go deeper, like the love can go deeper. And yeah, I just wanted to like talk through that experience, because I'm really starting to see how, you know, like the process and actually work with it and be able. I'm a big fan of communication. Like, even though it's all us and it's all our creation, like, I did explain how that made me feel, and, in a very calm way. There's nothing wrong with expressing things or saying you were upset or saying you were hurt or, how it made you feel. What It's when we emotionally react. So if you start shouting at somebody or, just blame them, like, taking ownership for how you feel is fine. But yeah, as soon as you kind of like emotionally attach too much, fly off the handle and emotionally engage, like, that's when things can really, really spiral, because then you get something back you don't want to hear, and it um so yeah, that's how last night transformed for me. And yeah, I ended up just feeling such a deep love. It really is like you clear away a few more veils, and you experience a deeper depth of love than you did, before. And I'm sure it's an ongoing process, forever. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you, and yeah, I hope everyone's well.